conversation. Let's see. Add people.
Sorry, I took a phone call because Casper called the wrong number. I was Ustream. I've got two viewers on Ustream, so I'm talking to Ustream viewers here. Okay, Kevin's coming on. I shouldn't be adjusting my wig, should I? Oh, Nord isn't. Yeah, he's on his cell phone. Oh yeah, that's right. Wow, that's a horrible picture of.
That's why I called it, girlfriend. That's what you told me.
That's right. I just didn't realize he would have. I forgot that they're all connected now on all the different things.
Right. It says I'm calling his mobile number.
So, is that Melissa?
You have the Sprint voicemail box.
Hello?
That's Melissa.
Yeah, it's Melissa.
Hey, Melissa, you're on the air now. Well, not on the air, but we're all like getting ready to go on the air.
So
We're behind the scenes on the air.
We're behind the scenes on the air. I'm in my lingerie, actually. I did definitely do it tonight.
Hey, it's Norfart's phone number 503-957-3367.
Kevin, is that Norfart's number? Is Kevin here?
He shows.
I love you, Casper Leach.
Huh?
I was just saying I love you,
Oh.
Casper Leach.
You know what? Norfart's number, I think, is a 503 number.
Yeah, 50. I got 503-395. I'm saying I got 503-957-3367.
I believe it is. Yes.
All right, well then it went straight to his answering machine, and he's not around. I'll try it one more time, and then we'll go live.
Okay. Is Kevin with us?
I think so. Kevin, are you there?
I don't hear him at all.
He shows us being online and answering.
Looks sexy.
Hey, Norfart. Kevin's online, but we can't hear him. He's on mute or some shit. Kevin's playing game.
You have reached the Sprint voicemail box.
Okay.
5.
All right. Kevin will talk with him whenever the fuck he wants to. Norfart's not answering his phone. Melissa's on and you're on. I'm going to take this live.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to set this down here, right here for a second. Because, I can't hear the music either.
I haven't started it.
Okay.
God damn.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, we're
hit the live button and the live goes on air. And I hit the music. Got it?
All right.
God damn, like it's the first time you've been on network. Shit.
Kevin is not coming in for some reason. I could see his little thing. All right. It may be just me and you.
In a town where there are no small
I take it you hear the music?
Yep.
where Kush is a girl's best friend, and law breaking is the new liberty. It's the Hollywood Hemptress Hour, hosted by your honey blonde Hemptress, Terry Joyce.
Welcome to Hollywood Hemptress Hour on Time for Hemp. We're on iHeartRadio. Welcome to the show. Tonight is we haven't done it in a while. Tonight's actually Friday night lingerie night, and so yeah, it's shameless marketing is what it is. It's like, I figure if you go like maybe like half naked, maybe some people might tune in.
That's when we get our best views.
Right, I know, and it works, and honestly, I'm a little bit of an exhibitionist. I do like to wear lingerie and sort of like be seen, and it's like, so I guess it's more of a constructive way of exhibiting yourself, right? So, anyways, I would, Casper, I dare you to to dress in a teddy on Friday night, lingerie night. I think that would be something to see, actually.
I'm sure it would leave you speaking.
I half of mine to do that tonight.
Really?
I want to know what Casper's wearing right now.
I'm wearing a T-shirt that says "Practice safe sex. Go fuck yourself."
So I guess I should let our listeners know who is actually on the air. The man that you just heard speak right now is Casper Leach, who is Mr. Time for Hemp. He is the founder and original creator of Time for Hemp. Actually, he is, well, there he is. I mean, we do get to see him, and we do get to see his T-shirt right now. Hopefully, I'll be able to capture it on the live stream here. You were in practice safe sex. Go fuck yourself. I love that. You know what? Let's all fuck ourselves because yeah.
Casper Leach can tell me to fuck myself anytime. In fact, I think he has. I love you, Casper. I'm a huge, huge fan, but everybody knows that.
And here's the thing about now the other woman that you hear speaking is Melissa Ballin, and she is you're a filmmaker, you are a marijuana activist. You are, a revolutionary. We did Occupy together. We have a bit of a history, and you also worked besides Jack Hare. And didn't you finish a documentary on Jack Hare?
Yes, these are a lot of questions and allegations all at once, but I can confirm these allegations. I did sleep with Terry Joyce. I did, but we didn't have sex. We just slept together.
No, right. Yeah, we did sleep together in a tent at Occupy. Because I had Melissa Ballin on the show when I was doing Hollywood Hemptress Hour on New Dissident Radio, because at that time Occupy was happening, and there were a few of us who were activists that were camped out there as well. And showing support for the marijuana and the hemp aspect of the movement, and also just we were also behind, why we were there, which was basically Wall Street and the banks being foreclosed and a bunch of other issues that are part of the entire system. But I had Melissa on the show, and she goes, "Oh, come on down and do it, Terry. Come on down and camp. We have a tent, a Human Solutions tent that you can stay in." And I got all confused and stuff, and then I finally found Melissa in the Sovereign Nation area, and I don't know. I think maybe we got it. You had a little. I don't know where. It seemed like you were partying a little, drinking. I don't know why, but Melissa goes, yeah, just go in my tent. And then in the morning when I woke up next to her, she goes, "What are you doing here?" It was almost like one of those moments, did I do her to last night? I'm not sure. Are we on?
It's very cold out there. Actually, there's a lot of famous people being an activist and traveling around, and also just being a Hollywood filmmaker. I just happen to have slept with a lot of famous people. Some people are star fuckers, and I'm a star sleeper. And I never actually slept with Casper Leach, but I did have the major honor of co-hosting a couple of episodes, joint hosting, we like to say, I think, joint hosting a couple of episodes of Time for Hemp, and the last episode that I was a joint host of was from the steps of City Hall, from Occupy, and it was a big issue at the time, actually, fighting for our rights for cannabis freedom in place, fighting against corporate greed. At the time, we really had to fight for our right to party, if you will. And actually, there was no drinking on the site of City Hall, but there was religious meditating, thanks to N.J. Weedman and Liberty Bell Temple and the Sovereign Nation of Freedom and Peace. So if I was tipsy, like Paris Hilton says in her new song, then it was okay because you were with me, but that didn't happen on site.
No, that's true. We didn't drink on site because people could get arrested for drinking on site. If you had an open container or any type of open alcohol, because you could be arrested for that. But what was interesting is that nobody got arrested for smoking marijuana.
Right. Right, and we had a vaporizer on site actually because people don't like to use the word compliant, and as we're so sovereign talking about our natural right to smoke hemp and grow hemp, and there's some other people on the line right now, right? North.
Yes, there are. You know what? And I just realized that I need to introduce my co-host that I have on the show. I'd like to introduce Northblatt Forsgren, who is with Hardcore Entertainment and Trips, which will be taping after the show tonight, as well as Kevin Korn. Where did Kevin go?
Yeah, what happened to Kevin?
I don't know.
I have no idea. He popped off and disappeared.
Oh, okay.
He's probably slipping into some lingerie now that he knows. What I want to know is, as you introduce your other co-hosts, are you going to explain if you slept with them or not, and in what context?
Actually, slept with both of us.
Yeah, I have. I've slept with both of them in an RV.
Great. I don't really trust anybody that I haven't slept with. Although I feel like I have slept with Casper because a couple times he called me, for a broadcast, and maybe I was just waking up, So then, we bend our qualifications as we go, right? The people we like, we make exceptions for.
Well, yeah,
like
I mean, there's some people that you sleep with once in a while and you regret it afterwards, you know what I mean? And then you're like, I won't be sleeping with those people anymore, kind of thing.
Are we still talking about just sleeping, or are we talking about
we're still just talking about just sleeping. I mean, like, I really, haven't slept with
Northblatt
or Kevin.
Because they snore? Is that why you regret it sometimes? If they snore?
I mean, well, I think it just happens in general. I mean, like, sometimes, like, people, we sort of, you sleep together, and then sometimes you just stop sleeping together, it's just one of those things, but you can never take away the fact that you actually slept with them. Their sleeplessness will be with you forever.
This is a lot like cannabis hemp. Sometimes I don't know if we're talking about cannabis or if we're talking about hemp. Are we talking about sleeping together or are we talking about sleeping together?
Well, it doesn't. I mean, isn't cannabis a gateway drug to sleeping together? I mean, if you really think about it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this Lady Gaga? I thought I was on Terry Joyce's show, The Hollywood Hemptress. If I'm talking to Lady Gaga, I have some words for you, bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh God! I mean, what do you think about that picture of Lady Gaga smoking a joint with like marijuana leaf pasties? What's your feeling about that, Melissa? Have you seen it?
I guess I missed that. I was more enthusiastic about Miley twerking on stage with a dwarf.
Well, I got
so progressive.
I got a picture of Miley smoking a blunt on stage too.
Well, who didn't?
Right. I know that I was more surprised by fucking Lady Gaga doing a show with the Muppets. That's kind of what blew me away.
Well, Snoop Dogg's done a show with the Muppets too, as well.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg or Snoop Lion?
Well, he was Snoop Dogg then. But I guess is he still Snoop Lion?
I hope not.
My understanding, I can't speak for Snoop, but my understanding, I did work with him. I didn't sleep with him, but I did work with him on I Got the Hookup. And that's why they call me White Chocolate. When they do call me White Chocolate, is in case people were wondering or thought it was something lascivious, because this is such a dirty late-night show with the Hollywood Hemptress. My name White Chocolate is from my urbanness, from writing I Got the Hookup. And my understanding is Snoop is still Snoop Lion, but that it's an issue of distribution, that there are certain parts of the world that they just don't know who Snoop Lion is. So they're still billing him at concerts. And I think that this is, it's always about the money. In Italy, which is follow the arrow, and we say follow the money, and that's what it's all about. But some of this we're going to sidebar for trips after hours, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, well.
Or two.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely, we can talk about this at a later time.
The second
Um,
hour is freedom of choice hour, so.
yeah, I mean, second hour is the freedom of choice hour, so we go a little bit more on the esoteric area, and but you know what? I think Kevin Korn is with us now. I see his eyeball on Skype pop up, so that's his
I don't think
pick.
his phone's working. I can't hear him.
Kevin, can we hear you? Are you there? Huh? Maybe we should give him a call back, like on the phone.
Sounds like he's giving his phone CPR.
Yeah, it's
What?
yeah, it's not working. He's not there. What a bummer. Okay. He'll be back. You know, it's all this modern technology going on that gets things not working out so good.
The subscriber you have dialed is not in service.
Look
If
at that.
you feel you've received
Wow, okay. Somebody didn't pay their phone bill. No, I'm kidding.
It must be Kevin because I tried to call him on his cell phone. So
the subscriber you have dialed is not in
Wrong cell phone number.
You know what? He's actually on the he's on the number that we were on last night. He's probably most likely on that number that we broadcasted from the .com record event. Because that's the phone that he's using. It's the 360 area code number that he would be on.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're about a minute away from taking a commercial break, and then probably at this point, I'm pretty sure that we'll have Kevin Korn back on in just a moment. For some reason, now that we have
I don't know what he's wearing.
and you know what, maybe he's wearing some fishnets now. You know, he went to go crack open a beer, put on some fishnet stockings, and come join us. On his cell phone. I don't know. I mean, I think you would be fun to have the guys dress up. Well, I don't know. I don't know how they feel about dressing up in lingerie on Friday night.
Well, I'm always wearing pasties, you know.
Really?
You guys go so hard in the paint on Friday Night Lingerie. This is like hard to keep up on. I can't wait after the break to tell everybody what I'm wearing.
Oh yeah, we'll have to find out. Okay, so we're gonna take a commercial break. We'll be right back, and we're gonna find out what Melissa Ballin is wearing tonight.
You can see on Instagram or Twitter, though, you can get a sneak peek on Twitter.
Yeah, okay, and you can get a sneak peek on her Twitter. Where's your Twitter at, Melissa?
Be occupied.
Stay occupied. Check it out. All right, we'll be right back.
And do you want to hear Dysfunctional Family for the holidays, or a Beatles version, a fake Beatles band doing what it would sound like if the Beatles did Rock Around the Christmas Tree?
I'd like to have a fake, the fake Beatles band one. Sounds good.
All right, so we'll do you want to listen to it while I get Kevin on and see what that sounded like?
Sure.
Well, then let's take your break and listen to some music and come back to the Hollywood Hemptress Hour here on the Time for Hemp Broadcasting Network.
Okay. I'm wearing socks because my feet are cold.
Where there are no small joints, just small stoners. Where Kush is a girl's best friend, and law breaking is the new liberty. It's the Hollywood Hemptress Hour, hosted by your honey blonde Hemptress, Terry Joyce. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party. Mistletoe hung where you can see child is young. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas feeling burn. Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly, Santa bells, lots of holly, rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas fever burn. Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly, Santa Claus with lots rocking around the Christmas tree. Have a happy holiday. Everyone's dancing merrily in the old-fashioned way. Everyone's dancing merrily in the old-fashioned way.
Oh, I was dancing. And we're back with Hollywood Hemptress Hour on the Time for Hemp Network on iHeartRadio. In studio with me, I have my co-host Kevin Korn from Hardcore Entertainment and North Platte Four Screen. I'm a little bit out of breath because I was dancing during the break there. So yeah, it was very fun. It was, I almost ruined the china, but that's okay. And I also in North Platte Four Screen, Kevin Korn, and then my special guest, Melissa Ballin. Thank you all for being here tonight. And I want to ask Melissa a few questions. I know that you've been a documentary filmmaker and an independent filmmaker. What are some of the projects that you have that you've done, and where can our listeners find them?
Oh, well, thanks for asking, because High Times Magazine declared me just an LA activist and said that I wasn't much of a dancer when I was on stage with Redman and The Game. So they forget sometimes that I'm a filmmaker because of this trip down the rabbit hole. But I started in smut and entertainment. So, yeah, I did a lot of weird films you may or may not have seen. I produced The Attic Expeditions with Seth Green and Alice Cooper, which was a really fun mindfuck horror movie. I put Beyonce in her first film, Beverly Hood, which was like a black Beverly Hillbilly. And I directed my first narrative feature, Freeze or Burn the Movie, which was the first in the world to be sold on eBay during Cannes. So I actually did a series of commercials that Variety wrote about of me in a tutu and knee pads trying to sell our film, making fun of how difficult it can be to sell an independent film. But some people, took it a little seriously, the knee pads at least.
And so, didn't you do something with oh gosh, I'm gonna go blank on her name right now. Angela
Shelton.
Yes,
I had the honor
thank
of producing a
Yeah.
documentary called Searching for Angela Shelton, which I actually produced the specials for Lifetime. So it was an award-winning festival touring documentary on its own. She was a good friend of mine, going through the rigorous process of getting a film to market, especially when it's a personal story. It's a little late night on the Hemptress Hour, and so, I have to take that moment to suggest vaporizing when you have a cough like mine. But Eddie Lepp would say, if you don't cough, you don't get off. So that's what that's about. But, yeah, I had the pleasure of working with Angela Shelton. Learned a lot at that point about PTSD and the tremendous effects of stress, and some really horrible statistics for those that don't know, that 1 in 3 men and women have been the victim or survivor, if you will, of sexual molestation. So those are staggering figures, and this was like a really heavy documentary. But what was beautiful about it was that she was able to help so many people, and that was a really seminal point in my career when I made the shift from working in sort of mindless entertainment, coming from Hollywood, to dedicating more of my time to really meaningful, life-changing entertainment. But we have to find a balance, and so there's nothing wrong with smut and entertainment, as it turns out. And comedy, as it turns out, is, as you well know, is one of the most important stages of healing and of people getting together. I mean, obviously, Friday Night Lingerie is like a major healing as well, but we're going to talk in the second hour a little bit about smashing patriarchy, and that we just want to clarify, we're wearing lingerie right now to smash patriarchy. We're not doing it to feed into, correct? I mean, that's why I'm doing it. I'm wearing I'm wearing marijuana pasties and booty shorts with pot leaves on them and a hot pink floor-length vintage nightie, basically. And I'm doing it to smash patriarchy and in honor of Chelsea Manning. So I just want to be clear why I'm wearing this lingerie.
That's right. I'm wearing lingerie.
And where can I see this?
Well, you can see on the Stay Occupied Instagram the outfit that I was putting on, and then, I'm watching the Hollywood Hemptress Ustream, so I'm thinking about maybe giving you a little Insta video glimpse. I don't have fishnets on. I just have bare feet, so I was gonna maybe ask where you guys want to see a Flash for Cash mob, but you have to be PG-13, and that's one of our campaigns. But we're jumping around a lot. I know I'm not, I'm going back and forth to activism, which is a lot like my career has been, as a filmmaker. And our other Twitter, Liz Savage, wants me to remind you, look at that cleavage shot. You could be listening on Time for Hemp. You could be watching on Ustream Hollywood Hemptress. You could be watching, maybe, if you're lucky, on Hemp Can Save the Planet, and you'll get a glimpse of this hot pink vision that I have going on for Chelsea Manning. But there's like a lot of media going on right now, right? There's a lot of different ways they can watch.
And listen, and
Tell me in New Jersey that they're listening.
You know what? It's funny because like the medium has changed where we can entertain in different ways. I say that I'm wearing lingerie for the revolution. Why not? I mean, look, okay. Sex is used like in terms of actors or actresses or whatever. I mean, it's used in our advertising. It's used everywhere. I mean, perfume. You name it.
And then it's told if we do it, it's bad.
No, I don't think it's bad. It's kind of like. I don't know. The good or bad is what we put upon it. So my feeling is, I like wearing lingerie and dancing around or whatever. And so if that's entertaining. And, that catches an eye, or, there's that goddess energy that, it's the empowerment of the feminine to, add its accent to the shift of humanity is how I look at it.
It works two ways. Now, from the neck up, seriously, you should put 3 bags on my head, turn the lights out, and pretend you're somebody different. I got that. Right? But between between my waist and my knees, I'm pretty fucking impressive, and I didn't have anything to do with it. It's just how I was born. So I've learned to wear a pair of sweatpants so that my dragon dangles. And when I walk into a room, people don't talk to me eye to eye. They stare at my crotch and say yes to anything I ask for.
Wow. Then let's go sell some advertising. We need to walk in person to sell this advertising for Time for Hemp.
Even straight man, they end up staring at my wiki. It's not my fault that I was born with something 3 times the size of my leg. I didn't mean for it to be that way. And it's wrong.
And you're listening to Late Night with Hollywood Hemptress. That's right. That's Casper Leach talking about his schlong. And I want you to use that huge package to save the planet, Casper. I want you to use it. If people are going to say whatever you want, let's get some sponsors for Time for Hemp. Let's use that huge schlong to help.
It's pointless because from the neck up, I'm like butt ugly. I mean, it's like putting big tits on an ugly girl. No point. There's no point.
Well, hemp can slave the planet, and so can a big dragon dong.
Well, it does. I'll tell you. I can't tell you the number. I go into a grocery store. I go into a hardware store. I go into the gym. People talk to me. They talk to my dick. They don't talk to me.
My old lady, one of the things that she never believed me, but I'm tall enough to where when I walk into a store and whatnot, the couch comes up to right about my right below my waist there, and there are times when I'll walk up. I've told my old lady, hey, watch this, and I walk up and just kind of put my balls up on the counter while I'm ordering whatever it is that I'm ordering, and the faces are great. I mean, if I had Google goggles, man, I would fucking record it because it is fucking classic.
So you know what I mean when I tell you that people don't talk to me, they talk to my pecker.
That's exactly what happens. Looking at your cock.
We're
Even when I'm out walking my dog or when I go places and I'm just trying to get my vegetables to just be my own self. And I'll say, can you help me find such and such? So they stare at my pants, telling me go down to aisle 3 and make a right.
Hey, Terry, do you remember when you guys used to talk about marijuana on this show?
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean,
We love marijuana.
Well, we do, but on Friday we smoked the marijuana like very heavily, and then just talk about. Well, we started out talking about Terry's lingerie. That's usually what we talk about.
Okay, well, here's a tie-in with marijuana and lingerie and sex. I mean, in a sense, hasn't marijuana been demonized? From the very beginning, that it's always kind of been, equated with lustful desires and the inclination to put your balls on a fast food like counter because you're 6'5".
If I wasn't stoned, I would never have thought of putting my balls up on a fast food counter.
And I don't normally joke with you, but Melissa, how dare you call us out when the very first thing you said when you came on the air was who you slept with, how you slept with Casper Leach, what I was wearing, and you haven't even said hello to the audience. Now we're talking about the size of my dick, and all of a sudden, can we talk about marijuana, please?
I mean, I just want to talk about your dick and marijuana. I want it all, Casper. Is that so wrong?
Uh-oh, Casper's coming on.
The planet. I want to legalize pot, and I want to legalize prostitution. So, what order should we talk about everything?
You know what? That's what my mom said to me like years ago, and she's my mother, so I'm so proud of her that she said this. But she says, you know what? I think they should just legalize, drugs and prostitution. And I'm like, whoa, she's progressive. And I think she means like, not just like marijuana, but
she's looking for a second part-time job.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Yeah.
In the next room, Mom.
She's always going, oh, would you please stop talking to people about me? You're ruining my reputation from the Teachers Association. So, Melissa, we can reboot and focus a little bit here on marijuana. So, can I safely say that would you consider yourself to be what you would consider an art activist per se? Do you see yourself that way?
Well, what had happened was, right down the rabbit hole, I had the pleasure of co-directing the Vote for Change video postcard campaign with Shepard Fairey. And that was a real launch of art activism for me. But it was not the first time that I had the honor of collaborating with Shepard, who is pretty iconic for the Obey Giant series of Andre the Giant, and then, of course, for the Obama poster, the Hope poster, that now, is in the Smithsonian. And he got a thank you letter. I didn't get a thank you letter from Obama. Instead, I just got indefinitely detained 5 times in a 72-hour period, arrested 3 times over 30 days, and falsely prosecuted for 15 months. So Shepard, may or may not have gotten the better end of the deal. He had some other issues. There hasn't been an artist, unfortunately, in the Obama administration that hasn't had their constitutional rights curtailed in some way. Even Beyonce, even Jay-Z, even though they're invited to the White House for dinner, which is awesome, they also are having, their freedom of press and right to peaceably assemble abridged. And these are issues that we're going to get into and talk about, but this was something that most of my friends said, oh, we wish you would get back to being a movie director. And a lot of people thought that I retired. So I thought, oh, no, tell Terrence Malick, that he's retired after 7 years in between films. But I turned a lot towards social media and making what I like to think are tiny, tiny films and empowering other citizen journalists to find their voice as a filmmaker. So I've been playing with different mediums, but you can't convince your peers necessarily that Insta videos are, flexing your skills as a filmmaker. But there are others who would argue, the to me, the medium really is the message. And so the way that we're going to get to the eyeballs or get the message out there, we have to be open to all these mediums. So that's the long version of the answer to, do I consider myself an artist, an activist, a filmmaker? What am I doing? I like to do these video postcards and these viral experiences, live performance art that makes people really think, which is what phenomenology is about their surroundings. But I am getting back to the structured narrative fiction in 2014. I'm very excited about that.
I'm with you on the art activist, or I started out just being a like a comedian, and I was all about show business, and I didn't even think, honestly, I didn't even think twice about I thought about things and whatever, but in terms of like ever visualizing myself to marching in the streets and standing up for the cause of marijuana legalization and the freedom of the hemp plant, I didn't see. I found that as a calling later on, and when I least began to wake up and realize that something was wrong, that there was a problem. Basically, it's like peeling an onion. One thing leads to the next thing, leads to the next thing, leads to the next thing, which is all interconnected to what I feel is losing our freedom and our rights here in America. And I think that a lot of us, whether they really existed or not, really believe that they existed. And we've lived our life this way. And so, that's, I didn't think about that was going to have such an impact on my heart to continually, incorporate that in different ways of being creative, from not only working on my own act, but also from like doing this show and doing the media that we're doing on Ustream, or the Facebook social networking. Right now, we don't have to be I think the world is getting more and more of a clue that the mainstream media isn't really giving the whole story, and that it's selective reporting to create an illusion of a reality, so that we'll keep perpetuating and believe in the agenda that's destructive. And that it shows like,
and we have to applaud. We have to applaud you and Casper Leach and Time for Hemp Network and the real media, because give thanks for your sponsors that aren't necessarily corporate, but give thanks for your sponsors that have the courage to get the messaging out. But clearly mainstream media is not getting faxed out. They're just regurgitating pablum.
Yes, they are. And on that note, we do need to take a commercial break. So we'll be right back with more Time for Hemp on iHeartRadio.
So, Terry.
Yeah.
How many watchers you got tonight?
I've had 5 or 6 at one point, and now I have 4. So
What's up?
it definitely increases on lingerie. And I want to thank the watchers for being out there. Thank you.
I've got a couple people in Jersey watching right now. It's 3:30 in the morning.
Really?
Yeah, it's that outfit.
Hello, Jersey.
My buddy Donald, as a matter of fact, he's going to be coming here to Oregon here pretty soon. He got arrested for fucking a bunch of hash over in Jersey. They want to put him away for a while.
Oh, really?
Is he really dressed up like a clown?
Huh?
Does Donnie really dress up like a clown?
He's a fucking, he does clown shit, yep.
You're like, yep. All right.
Yep. That's my boy, though. We were on Mad Crew for fucking years together. Yeah, good guy right there, but fucking, anyhow, yeah, so there's Jersey people watching.
I thought about dressing up like a clown and getting myself photographed and then using it on the internet on the About Us page as the clown in charge of the network. Seriously, I thought, well, the people involved would really find it funny, and the people who don't know me would not have an idea as to why I did it, but I don't care.
Sure.
So we have more. I'm not wearing my glasses tonight, which is kind of like. So I'm missing some of the dialogue, and plus I've been looking up. I've been kind of It's more active tonight with like making sure that the
No
view.
wonder you're not laughing at some of the things that I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm kind of like making sure that the viewers are getting their feel of my lingerie. I mean, normally I just sit there with like a dunce expression, but tonight it's a party in my house.
Well,
Everybody's coming.
and Kevin Norfart will probably make a copy of it and send it to you, so you'll get laughing too eventually.
Well, we'll post this in Trips later. So if anybody wants to download it and have it on their own hard drive, they're more than welcome to take it for free.
We're coming back in 32
All right.
seconds.
It's your boy Massey, boy, live in effect. Now, all I know is when I get to your house, there's gonna be some cookies and some milk. I'm throwing a fit. Somebody's getting cold. Nah, I'm just kidding. Everyone's getting something. Merry Christmas to all. And to all, a good night.
And we're back with Hollywood Hemptress Hour on the Time for Hemp Network on iHeartRadio. And in our virtual studio, we've got founder Casper Leach with us. We've got filmmaker and activist, hemp activist, activist human being extraordinaire, Melissa Ballin. And we also have North Blatt Forsgren from Trips and Hardcore Entertainment. And Kevin Korn, also from Hardcore Entertainment and from Trips. Welcome to the show. Thank you still for being here. You guys there?
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Carrie.
Oh, it's great. It's great to have you guys. We had a busy night last night, too. North Blatt and Kevin Korn. We want to give a shout out to the .com record guys.
Yeah, big shout out to Steven and Travis.
Yeah.
Oh, Steven and Travis tore it up last night.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. It was.
Yeah. Those guys are amazing. Fucking just they can fucking just start going at any time. Just keep on singing. Fucking they change it up. They'll fucking go. They love it. It's like they're constantly promoting themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, but did they wear lingerie on your show?
You know what? They have not worn lingerie on my show. They would be. I think. What? We've got something, some sort of feedback happening.
Coming in from the mine.
What?
Oh no.
Okay.
It sounds like the Seven Dwarfs are coming in from the mine.
It was coming out of Kevin's Skype. He had to go over and see what it was we were saying about him with a talk line. Then he went back over and got back on the phone so he could bitch us out.
I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say, but I think that sometimes this is like a poignant lesson that you can't get a word in edgewise, huh?
I guess so. We just had some interference with the dialogue there for a minute. The problem is, Melissa, is that Skype is not a perfect media yet, and even though we say this is how we're getting the message out to people, there's an element of awkwardness. It's like we don't have production manager people going, hey, cue you, or directors. We're just kind of winging it with our own instincts. But I kind of like it that way. I think eventually it'll smooth out. To me it reminds me of, remember when Blair Witch Project came out and there was that whole shaky camera thing that made you feel like it was like live and real and intimate. I kind of feel that the internet medium is this way as well. and you can't get more reality television if than live streaming something. And that's what I kind of felt like when we live streamed the show backstage, as well as broadcasted from the green room. And I watched the whole thing today. It's a couple of hours, but it's really fascinating, and it has its own drama, and it was fun. It's fun to watch. Camera work is kind of shaky at some points. It's bouncing all over the place, and then it stabilizes. But that's kind of, I mean, if you realize, we shot it off of my cell phone, which is what I'm live streaming off of right now too, as well. And it's pretty fascinating how technology has really played into the revolution. I mean, if you think about it, now Melissa, we were there uh, Ustream, or the different streaming things. That's how we did. We streamed our GA assemblies, and we streamed the protests and things. So, the revolution is actually, or what constitutes, whether it's Occupy or it's people taking the street in Spain or whatever. I mean, how is it that we're seeing what's going on in the world? It's because of the fact that we have smartphones and that we're able to live stream everything.
We're not seeing it on Channel 2 News, that's for sure.
No, you're not. You're not going to see it.
It has revolutionized and evolutionized the way that we're able to access media. And actually, we have to give a shout out right now to one of the first live streamers I ever met. Liz Savage is watching your Ustream right now on Hollywood Hemptress Hour, and she also helped me with the Hemp Can Save the Planet Monday live stream that we do, which we're going to talk about, and hopefully have you as a guest on from 4:20 to 7:10 every Monday. And live stream is a really interesting medium because people like to feel like they're right there. And what I learned from Savage Truth TV on live stream and PM Beers, which were two of the major live streamers that streamed the OLA General Assembly and some of the breaking events that occurred on site and off, was that medium and how to engage the audience, keep them excited while they're maybe just watching you pick your nose so that you feel like you're right there. What's going on?
I'm sorry, yeah, they're trying to call Kevin back again. Kevin's been having lots and lots of connection issues tonight.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. You've been all over the place.
Because my tablet, I run a Skype Echo I do the test and to configure it, and it shows my mic and everything's working. But when we go on when we go live on Skype, my mic doesn't work. You guys can't hear me. I can hear you guys, but I can sit here. You guys can't hear a word I say.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're here now. So tell us about.
Yeah, now I'm by cell phone.
So, Kevin,
So I got a question for you. Have any of you guys seen marijuana porn?
No, I have not.
I haven't either.
You know what? You want to know why? You want to know why that is? Because in the adult filmmaking industry, you cannot combine porn with any type of drug. It's completely illegal. I mean, you could probably have an erotic film surrounding with marijuana in it, but it can't be a porno.
Wait, chocolate to me is like a drug. I'm serious. I'll lie and steal for chocolate. I'm just that way.
Oh, yeah, well, I have Jack Harrer Hemp Bitcoin with your name on it, Casper. I'm actually waiting. I can't wait to see you. I was hoping that I would be up there at Portland Hemp Stock, but I'm going to have to rendezvous with you at some point because we have a new Jack Harrer Hemp Bitcoin made by the Candy Factory, and it's dark chocolate and hemp seed, and it doesn't get you high, but it is an aphrodisiac. Dark chocolate is an aphrodisiac. So some people say chocolate, does get you high.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I mean, it apparently it's supposed to unleash the endorphins that you have when you have sex.
Yeah, it releases serotonin and, oh God, I can't remember the other one. Serotonin being the main one, though.
Right.
I heard that those same endorphins are released when you listen to the Hollywood Hemptress Hour. From
Really?
2 a.m.
Oh. Yeah, I think that's a possibility, I don't know when
you watch it on Friday.
I've also heard that raw chocolate is good for psychic and opening the pineal gland and stuff like that. I've heard that before too. So cocoa, yeah. It tastes different. I mean, when you don't have any sugar in it and stuff, but after a while you get kind of used to it. I like to have the raw chocolate goji berries are really good.
Those are pretty good too. I like Trader Joe's has a really good variety of chocolate. That's the raw, the good chocolate. You know, it's not super processed or anything like that. I've been buying a lot of darks lately. 73%, 80% chocolates that are actually really good. I remember growing up, I fucking hated that Baker's chocolate shit, but.
How good is chocolate?
A bong hit and get a fucking nice chocolate bar of fucking 80% that barely any sugar in it.
And that dark chocolate tastes great with coconut. It's like a Mounds bar.
Yeah.
Wow, we must all really be high right now.
Wow, and here I am sitting over here in the corner going, I'm allergic to chocolate.
Are you really?
I am, hence why I said I prefer gummy bears.
And milk. Wouldn't that suck? He's allergic to milk and chocolate?
Yeah.
I am. I'm lactose intolerant and allergic to chocolate.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Hospital, I promise you, I'll be the only one of your friends who will send you a box of chocolates as a gift.
So there's some.
I had one come over just the other day with a whole box and handed me a whole box of chocolates. And he's like, these are for you. And he knew full aware that I was allergic to chocolate.
There's some.
And I'm still getting to know everybody's voices. So is that Northflat or who is that?
That was Kevin.
That was Kevin.
Oh, okay. Sure. Okay. Well, they do have, they have all kinds of versions of things now. They have vegan chocolate. They have lactose-free. So there is something for everybody. You just have to check and be sure it's not genetically modified.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm allergic to chocolate, and if they got chocolate they say I'm not allergic to, it's genetically modified. Because the real deal will put me into seizures and stuff. So.
Well, here's something that I'd like to bring up, and get into, coming here on the second hour, speaking of genetically modified, and this is something that I was bringing up to you earlier. Melissa, we were talking on the phone, was, I was, I've noticed, again, we mentioned Lady Gaga, and we've talked about this on the show, and Miley Cyrus, and them being depicted with weed. Madonna's now come out, and I've read that she says that she has a bong in the shape of a penis, it's like, well, when did Madonna start, smoking weed? It's like, all of a sudden, like, they're wearing this weed banner, and it's part of, like, pop culture that feels that it's part of, even some of it's part of the Disney machine, that, of course, I feel is a military-industrial complex.
When did the media start portraying actors as not being stoners? That's what
but when they
I remember growing up, it was like the actors were fucking drunk. You were an actor. You probably did cocaine and got stoned on the weekends. I mean.
But in a derogative way, and it would be something, especially marijuana. It's like marijuana's been used as a way of tainting people, or like, let's say in John Lennon's case, like accusing them for being busted for marijuana in his own country, which was planted on him in the first place, and then use that to import him, to upload him out of the country. So.
Right. And it changed in the 80s. It changed with the DARE program. It changed right around when Jack Harrer had that protest with some of his friends, and Ronald Reagan drove by and wanted to know what the Canadians were protesting for, and didn't realize it was a pot leaf. Because about the time that I was born, they found out that cannabis could cure cancer. And, in a few years, I'm going to be 40, not to out a woman's age on the air, but it's not cute that for over 40 years, the government has been obfuscating the truth about cannabis hemp. So at some point, corporate interest superseded not only the truth, but what was cool. And there are people still telling lies. We know that cannabis is not physically addictive. We know that there are benefits that are staggeringly outweigh. And my picture, my Instagram, has several things on there that I might think, Melissa Fallon might think, is awesome to have for a lingerie party. But the point, if you check on Stay Occupied and Melissa Fallon on Instagram, is that of all those things in that picture, the safest thing is marijuana. The Red Bull is dangerous. Marijuana is safer than Red Bull. Marijuana is safer than alcohol. It's safer than water. It's safer than ibuprofen. It's certainly safer than Xanax. And we could go on and on. So I think that the point when it became not cool is when the corporate interests became involved, when the economic viability, when Natalie Portman started using hemp for her shoe line. That's great. The fact that she has to import it from Canada and the Philippines, that's not great. Although, shout out to the Philippines, they need all the help that they can get right now.
And they do. And right on that, we need to take a commercial break. We'll be right back with more Hollywood Hemptress Hour. Stay tuned for the second hour, which is the Freedom of Joyce Hour, and we're going to rock it. We'll be right back. It's getting cold in here. It's snowing outside my house today. What's it?
Snowing outside my house.
What is it snowing? Is it snowing outside you guys' house?
It's not mine.
That's my surprise at the top of the hour is the John Lennon Christmas song.
Oh, let's hear it.
Surprise.
Is that new? I haven't heard it 1,000 times already since Thanksgiving. But
I know, but you were just talking about him, so I well.
Let's play it. Let's hear it. Today. to Hollywood Hemptress Hour. We're having a really good time here. All of us in our virtual studios, I don't know, in our private homes. Kevin Korn having problems on his iPad, and but he's on the phone now, and I don't know. I'm just rambling, but thank you so much for staying tuned. We have Melissa Ballin with us, filmmaker, activist, hemp activist, just activist in general extraordinaire. And we also have Kevin Korn from Hardcore Entertainment, and Trips, and also we have Northblatt Forsgren, my co-hosts, which are here with me every week. So we're here. It's now 1:01. Yay! 4:01 on the East Coast, and I don't know, in England I think it's like it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting better on time zones now. So we were talking about how the media has been doing like a bit of a shutdown and the shift, and I know I brought this up before, and we talk about GMOs, and you know, now we have Dr. Sanjay Gupta coming out, and you know, there's like the, you know, blurb here, blurb there, and you know, it's all positive in a way. I'm going, yes, this is great, you know, this is, the message is getting out on a larger scale. And then I get this little sick feeling like, okay, who's wanting to control it? You know, like what's going to happen here? Is it just going to become is the pharmaceutical companies going to want to take it, patent it, use parts of the drug, the plant that's not going to necessarily be completely healing as like the real plant is? Because I feel that we can heal ourselves with herbs and plants, and it's what our body really needs, other than the synthetic synthetic creations.
Terry, when it comes right down to it, it's a fucking plant. Whether it's legal, whether it's illegal, they will never be able to take it away from us. We will fucking be smoking pot till the day we fucking die, and our kids will all of our kids will eventually smoke a bowl someday, and they will fucking find out themselves as well.
It does bring a good point. It does bring a good point, Northblatt.
You cannot stop it. It's a fucking weed.
Okay, Kevin.
That TPP agreement was all about trying to come up with a way to patent and zone through regions genomes. And by genomes, they meant plants. They meant plant genomes. And they were specifically, if you kept going, I mean, they made it really clear that they were all fighting about being able to get their patent and get their call on plants. And I found that really amusing as this movement of marijuana is going. All of a sudden, they're trying to patent plants.
You know, Kevin, I read that I was reading it about an hour before we got on the show today, and and I was looking over it, and you're absolutely right. That key, they fucking give you the key. The first 2 pages, they say it does not matter what the words are in the parentheses. Whenever these parentheses come up, they're talking about plants. And it gives you without that key, that whole thing looks like it's about internet piracy. And
right.
Key,
now let's explain. Maybe the audience doesn't know what the TPP is. Kevin, what is the TPP?
That's the Trans-Pacific Partnership. It is it's a few nations, pretty much around the Pacific Rim, that actually own 48%. What was it?
It's 40%. Yeah, go on.
40%, I said 47, I'm pretty sure it's, but 40 to 47% of the world's GDP. Pretty much everything. So it's pretty crazy, and now they're trying to get their hands on plants.
And half of them are islands that grow pot. I mean, that are known for their pot. Like, you know, what is it? Bali? Was Bali? No, it wasn't Bali.
Vietnam.
Well, there's India. I mean,
Burma. It's Burma.
Burma.
That's what it was. Burma and Vietnam and a few of the Asian countries down there that have.
Oh, you have Mexico, Canada, the United States. It was just insane. It's insane. And if you read the key, if you read the first 2 pages and you take those 2 pages, you basically rip them off, and then you use them like a decoder for everything else you're reading. The whole thing's about plants. It's not even about internet. It's really funny.
I kept on scrolling back up to the key to see what those parentheses meant, because they use different parentheses. And it says at the very beginning of this whole fucking 93-page fucking report, it says that the councils in charge have no interest in the whatchamacallit, in the titles of these proposals, and that the actual the actual meat or body of the proposal is about what the parentheses are and not what the words inside the parentheses are. And it's kind of like it's secret code. It's for them to be able to get together and do this. And if something gets out, nobody really knows what they're talking about, because what they're doing, mind you, what they're doing is I'm pretty sure it's illegal. When U.S. government U.S. government officials get together with foreign nations talking about the fate of our fucking country, that's fucking treason.
Okay, Melissa, you wanted to say something, right?
What's important for the people that don't understand what's going on or what the TPP is that this is what social media is for. This is what Twitter is for. You can go right now while you're listening to us on the Hollywood Hemptress Hour. You can hashtag TPP. For those of us with Stay Occupied, Savage Truth, Liz Savage, Occupy LA, Stay Occupied, you could go to Flush the TPP and find out what you can actually do. Because there's certain issues that are going on right now. They have us so divided with so many issues. Now we know not to be a single issue activist. A lot of people said that we were just about pot. But we know that this is not a single issue. It is all related back to the land, to corporate greed. But I think that the big issue is, as we get distracted with these issues and informing each other what it even is, then we're getting further and further away from what can we actually do about it, instead of, for lack of a better word, circle jerking about more complaints. And, that's with all respect to, all of us here at a lingerie party right now. But I know a lot about complaining. I've been working on our federal complaint for myself and the sovereign nation. And when you complain a lot, give thanks for marijuana and give thanks for medical marijuana and how important it is for positivity and to elevate the frequency collectively, right? Because a lot of times we feel so helpless. What can we even do?
Right. I
right, well, that's pretty much what everybody in America thinks. And that's what they always say. They're like, well, nobody else is doing anything, or what can I do? And they just kind of go along with whatever happens. They don't stand up for themselves or do anything anymore.
Yeah, once I finally get them to stop saying our country or our president wouldn't do that to us, once they finally start seeing things, clearly, they say, well, what can we do? It's just a fucking, we're just hopeless. And it makes them feel hopeless. I know people that are now depressed because they've taken the fucking blue pill,
Well, let's talk about, that there definitely is, when you start to look at stuff in the world and you go, oh my God, this is happening, and it's like, again, the peeling of the onion, you look at it, it gets worse and worse and worse, and you're like, oh my God, how is it that you don't get depressed? That's I think that's a natural response to the realization of what might be taking place, or what is taking place.
I am depressed. I am depressed, and I think that if you're not depressed, you're taking pharmaceuticals, and that's okay. Jack Harrow would say it's not okay. I have a lot of friends here in Hollywood that are on pharmaceuticals, so that's one thing, okay? But if you're only taking pharmaceuticals and you're drinking the tap water here in Los Angeles, you've got to smoke cannabis, you've got to eat a cannabis cookie, you've got to vaporize, you've got to get some cannabis in your system, because if you're not depressed because you're on pharmaceuticals, you're giving yourself cancer and you're giving yourself other musculature problems down the road that a lot of people don't know about. Some of my favorite friends in Hollywood are suffering from tardive dyskinesia right now, and I didn't even know what that was, but it's that horrible pain that only exists from taking too many big pharma drugs. So there are actually diagnoses we get now just from solely taking big pharma. So I'm never going to be somebody who tells other people what to do, even though people think I'm so bossy. Take what you want. If you see the Instagram that I posted for our lingerie party, I've been ingesting all kinds of things to keep up with you guys. I've had a Twinkie and a half.
Oh my
While you guys
God.
were talking about while you were talking about your Winkie, I tried a Twinkie. I've had some Red Bull. I can tell you marijuana is safer than all of those things. But I have a request from everybody, because there's some famous people just on the line with us right now. And then there's some famous people social streaming and chatting just because Terry Joyce is in Fishnets. And so there's people from all around the world on the social stream. So my request is, how many of you are on Twitter?
I've never tweeted in my life, not once.
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter.
I got about 17,000 people that follow me on Twitter.
You have a lot of people following that Winkie. That's true. So what I would like, I would like you all to send a tweet right now, so that we're so live. I would like you to send a tweet, and I'm going to do it too, that says hashtag hemp can save the planet. And we like to incentivize things. We know that people should be tweeting that on the daily, every hour on the 20s, because it's always 420 somewhere, and because it's always time for hemp. But we know that people don't do the right thing on their own. We don't know why, but they just don't. So we have come up with prizes. And we have a schmokeware wrist hookah made of hemp, made by American hippies, made out of not American hemp, because someday we'll be growing hemp here, but not yet. But you can win it just for tweeting hashtag hemp can save the planet. And, throw in their hashtag time for hemp, Casper, because you have 17,000 followers that already know that it's time for hemp.
Actually,
but we have to have...
if you go to my time for hemp tweeting, I've sent out 23,933 tweets, and I have.
Oh my goodness!
I have 16,728 followers.
Will you make this the 23,144th?
It'll be one of them up there.
Great. And then everybody who retweets that will be entered to win. But I know, I'm on the stream right now. I'm going to tweet it. If you tweet it, Terry, then we'll just see.
I just tweeted it. I just tweeted it. I'm out. I just tweeted it.
I'm installing the Twitter thing on my
hashtag hemp can save the planet. Hashtag time for hemp. I just tweeted that. So
Great.
So I tweeted.
And like that, everybody, that's my request for everybody tonight, because it gets overwhelming and we feel like we can't do enough, or we've already done so much. But Jack Herer, may he rest in peace, would say we have to keep doing more. And Richard Albertini is listening right now on the Facebook, and he and Donna Lambert started the What Would Jack Do Facebook page. There's so many pages and so many things, but we can still be activated and involved. And we know what Jack would do. He would say, smoke more pot. But shout out to the people.
And I would assume that since this is a contest involved, that all the legalities are in place, and you're able to verify that no one who works in association with Time for Hemp or the Terry Joyce Show, or anybody who's a participant or an employee of the company that's giving away the prize of the contest will be a winner of the contest, and that this is a legitimate above-board FCC regulated contest that will keep all of us out of trouble, and that certainly you would not have put anybody in peril by just doing something off the cuff, would you?
Yes, but this is actually a Twitter contest, and Time for Hemp employees and Terry Joyce and even Obama's mama are actually all eligible. The only requirement is
a contest, because that means right now we're the first couple of people who just heard about it, and we have the right chance to win it, and so does our family and friends. So it doesn't really make it fair for those who are listening to it tomorrow, today, and who are doing the downloads. So you got to be careful when you do a contest. We've talked about that before in the air.
That's true, and this is a live 1-week contest, so the winner will be announced, and everybody is a winner by tweeting the message that hemp can save the planet. But you're absolutely right, and we are off the cuff, and we're saying some off-the-cuff things, but we are above board in the truth that hemp can save the planet. It is true, and so tweet that and let it be known, and we're going to see who retweets it and see how that message can spread so that we can at least feel through collectivism that we're doing something. And every Monday you can win prizes through Hemp Can Save the Planet. So that is true. And the only requirement is that you tweet the truth.
So
You know, even if you don't like, win a prize, really this isn't really about winning a prize. It's about getting the message out. If everybody actually hashtagged hemp can save the planet every day, if you have one of those, I put my tweets on a timer. I have that going on. I need to add new tweets, but just to have it go through, put it on your Facebook. Hemp can save the planet. Hemp can save the planet. Again, sometimes I've gotten a derogative. People have been derogative to me. They go, "So are you one of those people that believe that hemp can save the planet?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." And you know what? I'm going to tweet it. I'm going to tweet it. I'm going to put it on my Facebook. I'm going to put it out there all the time. It's like, yeah, you know what? We're worse than Christians. We're hemp activists. We'll bug the shit out of you until we get it right.
Well, Jesus used hemp, and George Washington used hemp. So lots of Christians used hemp before they, a lot of people don't know, and that's, give thanks to Jack Herer, give thanks to Casper Leach, give thanks to Richard Marsala, and people that have been doing this so long. They're the reason that we're at the tipping point that we're at right now, that we can tweet to 17,000 people in one shot, is because, we are standing on the shoulders of giants. We just have a little further to go, but we can see it on the horizon. And some of us think, Todd, it's already legal.
So I want you to know my very first tweet that I've ever made was hemp can save the planet. So
oh my gosh, we're going to retweet
the very first tweet I've ever made my whole life. My second tweet,
wow.
That eats pancakes.
Wow. Your second tweet, you might want to hashtag it.
See, I don't get it. I don't understand this whole tweet shit.
Put a pound symbol up before you write it.
That's what a hashtag is. And here's what's awesome about hashtags is that they have the word hash in them. How awesome is that?
That is awesome. And you know what? We do need to take a commercial break. We're going to be right back with more Hollywood Hemptress Hour and Melissa Ballin, Kevin Korn, and North Platte Forsgren. So, and Casper Leach. Stay tuned.
I'm so excited we popped North Platte cherry.
my Twitter cherry, yeah.
North Platte's cherry in
I tweeted you, North Platte. I just retweeted you.
I can't hear you. Hold on a second. Casper. Is it really Bob Dylan?
Red-nosed reindeer. Shiny news. And if you ever saw it, you'd even say glue. All the other reindeers used to laugh at him, calling name. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. And on foggy Christmas Eve, Santa Claus came to say, Rudolph, 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 we don't so bright. Won't you get in my sleigh tonight? And all the reindeer loved him as he shouted out with glee. Rudolph, Rudolph, you go down, you go down, you go down in history. How does it feel, Rudolph? How does it feel? Yeah. That sled. With that big red nose on your head. How does it feel? You should consider extreme makeover or something.
That's forbidden. Tweet it yet.
I don't know, Rudolph. How does it feel?
No, Jasper won't because it's against the law to have contests like that, Melissa.
Thank you.
No, the contest already started last week, Casper. It's an already ongoing contest.
And we're back with Hollywood Hemptress Hour on the Time for Hemp Network on iHeartRadio. Thank you for staying in tuned right now. It is, I should pay attention to the time because, actually, theoretically, time doesn't really exist. But, so I've heard. In studio, I have Melissa Ballin with me. She is a filmmaker and artist. And activist extraordinaire with Kevin Korn and North Blatt Forsgren with Hardcore Entertainment and our show Trips, which we'll be starting here after the show. And we've been discussing about, pharmaceuticals and, where is the TPP and the world. I guess how many countries were involved with the TPP, Kevin?
I believe it's 9.
9?
I don't have the paperwork in front of me. But it's 9.
And they were discussing, control of a plant.
Right, but if you read it, it looks like they're talking about internet. It looks like they're trying to take over the internet, and so they get everybody like, they're trying to take our internet. But if you read, there's like a key gem to it at the very beginning. And if you take that literally and run that through everything you're reading, it changes the legality of the whole document.
It changes
because
about
that key
75%
gem,
of that document to fucking plants and genome types.
species, and then they even break it down by region. So, like, if it grows, if this genome, even though if there's another one in another country, let's say like cannabis, if cannabis grows in the United States and cannabis grows in Vietnam, but Vietnam has their own plant, and they can prove that, like, this is the type of plant it is, they can regulate it and patent it, and that's what they're going for.
So now we discovered the TPP before the media did, and I don't know if we should really go into detail about how that happened.
Well,
they already fried my computer.
Friends in high places.
They fried your computer. Wait a second, Kevin. You say that they fried your computer over this?
Yeah, my computer just, I'm on my computer, which I'm buying a new one this weekend and going and taking this one in. And because I want my stuff off of it, but I have the TPP on that laptop. I mean, I know they fried my cell phone. My cell phone. This happened right after the TPP. When I found the TPP agreement, my cell phone went done. All my contacts, SD card, pictures, everything, just wiped completely. And then my phone just didn't work. It was done. I had taken it to my phone company, and they couldn't even tell me what was wrong, what happened. So I just was like, F you guys. Next, then my phone goes down, and then my computer crashes. It just turns off on me, and then it won't turn back on. It just repeats, and it's not that it's dead. I can plug it into the wall. It just does not turn on. It'll start up and just shut down. It's ridiculous.
Melissa, what were you going to say? You had a thought on that?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what we call that, Kevin?
What's that one?
Oh, we call that a coincidence.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
we call everything that happens, like when the car ran into my parents' front gate mysteriously, or when I was mugged for my cell phone only and none of my other property right before an activist action. We just call those coincidences. But we encourage everybody to back up your data, because we say there are two types of people in the world: those who have lost data and those who will lose data. So back that ass up is not just about actually a rap song. It's also back your assets up. You know what I'm saying? Please, activists that have valuable information, if you haven't had your cell phone stolen, you might. So back up your SIM cards, back up your information, take your screenshots, and don't be surprised. You know, people used to say to me, "Oh, Melissa, don't think that you're so important. They don't care about you."
Bullshit.
But they do care about you. And if they
do.
don't care about you, you're not living right. If they don't have you on a list right now, because Terry and I talked about this,
You ain't doing something right. That's right.
then you're not living right, and you're not going to make it on the spaceship. But we're going to talk about that after hours on Trip.
Oh my
What do
God,
you think,
I didn't know about a spaceship, you know, but that would be something that I would be, I can't wait to talk about making it on the spaceship.
Is it going to Planet
No
Funkatron?
sex.
I've always wanted to go to
There's
Planet
no
Funkatron.
sex in the champagne room of the spaceship, you know, because there's limited oxygen to go around. So there are rules. There are rules.
Oh, that's fine. I can do without sex in the champagne room.
We don't have to shave our head and like.
Whoa. What if I bring space ones?
I mean, there is a comet going by. I mean, we're not gonna just like all go to sleep.
Oh, we gotta hop on ice on that thing. Do you see it at night? I mean, I don't know where you're located. I know I'm here in Portland, Oregon, and I can look up when it's clear out, and that thing just lights up the entire sky. It is insane. You can see it with the human eye.
It's the only star that shines through the clouds.
Yeah.
Well, you
It
know,
is so
Kevin,
bright here. It is so close. It is ridiculous.
Kevin, I noticed that, you know, that a lot of things did happen to you. For one thing, Kevin was really courageous and went down to the Million Mask March. And we took some footage and we uploaded it, and, you know, we put it in quite a few of the anonymous forums and things like that. And then after that, it seemed like his phone got wiped. And then
Well, what was brave about you going down to the Million Mask March is that was completely infiltrated by government informants. That big Anana bust was not.
We knew that. We picked up on that. Was so they weren't even sly about it. At least not in downtown Portland. We knew. We were filming on a street corner, filming a Fed, watching the Feds watch us. It was hilarious, and we were. I was having a great time with it, you know, because we went down there to watch, you know, to pretty much, you know, watch film and, you know, have a good time, and that's exactly what I did with it. But the Feds were everywhere. They were everywhere, and they looked out of place. They looked like they were acting. I mean, they didn't even look. It was bad. It was really cheesy. It was like a really bad production of something, and you knew. I mean, they had every cop there from like half the state, half of them riding horses. I mean, where is our tax-paying dollars going? They had like a big-ass ice cream truck with speakers on it, and it wasn't filled with ice cream, it was filled with loaded-up SWAT members, and they were screaming at people. Now, mind you, this is in downtown Portland, Oregon, okay? And there was maybe, at the most, 150 protesters. There was probably 3 or 4 suited and booted cops for each and every one protester.
Right.
Not to mention everybody standing on the side of the streets watching that were just complete and utter Feds. Some of them had badges on their belts and didn't even like hide it.
Kevin, Melissa, I want you to you seem to have a little bit more some information about that. So it was anonymous was infiltrated. Do you mean that the protesters were infiltrated, or are you hinting towards that?
No, Anonymous was not infiltrated.
Okay.
Anonymous did not do the Million Mask March. Anonymous, that was not an anonymous action. That was an action that they were anonymous imposters. So here's the thing that I want to make clear, because, I want us all to just take a deep cleansing breath on what we call a breathe break, because you can use cannabis for your breathe break or not. Sometimes when we're subjected to an unlawful arrest, all we have is the flow of our breath, and we don't have access to our cannabis hemp. And sometimes, lingerie parties, we have full access. And so if you smoke it, if you got it. But for those of us that have PTSD, I'd like to just take it down a notch so that we don't kind of relive the frenetic energy of these experiences.
No, we don't take it down a notch on this show. We usually take it up a notch. By this time of night, we're taking it up a few points.
I don't actually have PTSD. I wasn't really like over in the military or anything, but.
And in fact,
well, I do. And those that are listening who know me know that I had a miscarriage from police brutality from filming Occupy. So maybe we'll just take it down a notch on this special occasion for me. But what I wanted to say is that we have to respect each other's needs. And sometimes we want to push through issues, and sometimes we have to. But some people aren't ready for that all the time, or sometimes it just overwhelms other people. So, we have to go at the pace that's comfortable for everybody. Some of your listeners are super awake and super aware of what's going on, and some people don't even know what we're talking about or just tuning into the Hollywood Hemptress Hour. I want to say to all of our fans and listeners that are federal informants, because, I can only speak for myself, Kevin, and you can absolutely do you and say whatever you have to say. But I have to say for me, because most of my listeners are, I believe, federal informants, those are my biggest fans, then I want to let them know I accept your valid oath of office. And I want to let you know that with that oath comes responsibility. And so my issue is with people not keeping their oath, whatever that oath may be. Everybody has to make a living. I don't respect people that make a living ruining other people's lives, whether they be federal agents or whether they be confidential informants or whether they're just trying to get a merit badge to get their cousin Vinny out of jail. Everybody has their own agenda. I think we need to do right by each other, and we need to live with more integrity. And I say to everybody, I don't care if you're a federal agent or not. Do you want to smoke some pot with me? And do you want to talk about how we can save the planet? Because even federal agents need to know that we need to fight or remediate Fukushima. And even federal agents, when they find out the truth about cannabis hemp, then that they've been hosed for all these years, that the real imposters are the people that have been obfuscating the truth, then even they sometimes open up their minds and wise up.
I do, I would agree with you on that. And, I have had my own personal experiences with federal agents. A couple of the things that I talk about are, I actually have in my stand-up, having a couple federal agents show up at a door of a hotel room that I was performing in at a casino. And, when I did present myself and said, I'm a medical marijuana patient and this and this and this, and I don't understand, and I'm sorry that, and I talked to them on I guess I would say maybe an intelligent, honest way about why I was doing what I was doing and why I felt that it was legally okay for me to do what I was doing, and that I was unaware of the current laws that were surrounding the Indian casino, because Indian casinos are owned by the federal government. So, technically
Right.
You're not supposed to have marijuana because it's federally illegal. And, they could have busted me. I could have been in really big trouble. But because I think that they saw my point.
Shout out to I hate to interrupt you, but shout out to the Lakota Indians that the U.S. government refuses to recognize their sovereignty. So it's very clear that the feds like to pick and choose when it suits them to follow federal law, constitutional law, and intentional international torts. But you're right. They like to intimidate us, and if we don't know our rights, then then we back down and they think that they've won. So tell us some more about their fictional narrative, because, they're doing a lot of ridiculous things.
Some of it, some of it actually, if you think about it, some of it, they were able to see my reasoning, and they were very pleasant to me, and I think that they do get the point. There are a lot of people that, they go, well, I agree with this. I get what this person is saying, although we can't hire you to work our private party because we're an organization. Our organization isn't outwardly supporting what you're talking about. I get that kind of thing going on. Even when I was in the raid with a medical marijuana dispensary, at some point after everything was relaxed, and we were, basically, going to be checked out, there was a human moment between, I felt, myself and them, to where I was basically shaking their hands in the end. If you think about it, yeah, do you want me, not everybody, just because they're on the other side, is just this bad person. We're all one planet, one human. We're all together on this. And and I really feel that it is important to open up ourselves into accepting the possibility that everything isn't as black and white as we might think it is.
Well, you also got to understand that there's bad people on both sides. There's going to be bad cops. There's going to be good cops. There's going to be good hippies. There's going to be bad hippies. It doesn't matter. People are people. There's going to be good. There's going to be, evil. People are people, no matter what you do for a living. So, it comes with a certain, a certain type, you either are one way or you're the other. And you can find nice people that do whatever it is they do, whether they work for, feds that smoke weed and want to save the planet, or, whatever the hell they do. Doesn't really matter. It's like, if they're good at what they do and they're, and they're good at it, who really cares? Who cares what they do?
And,
as long as you really think that they're really hunting you down. I don't really think so. So my point being is, it's like people.
I think the people that have lost a dog to trigger-happy DEA agents do. I think they feel that they were particularly targeted. I think anybody who's been the victim of police brutality or malfeasance of justice, exercised under the color of law, does feel personally targeted. And I think that any conscious American who doesn't feel personally targeted, I don't think that you have to have had something wrong happen to you to notice an injustice and speak up. I've been speaking out and speaking up for years because my black friends were incarcerated, my gay friends were treated unfairly, my Asian friends, the orphans couldn't get food. I show up for everybody. It was in showing up for a sovereign citizen to cover their trial as a member of the media that I was unlawfully incarcerated. I'd never been in trouble in my life. I'd never been incarcerated. And through that process, I got a first-hand view of how they treat the supposed innocent until proven guilty. And it's atrocious. The court system is absolutely atrocious. And most people that have dealt with pot already know that because they've been subjected to this eeny, meeny, miny, mo, jurisprudence for a long time. So, give thanks to the organizations like Human Solution and media organizations like the Time for Hemp Network that keep the message out there so that we can tweet and also reach out to some of these prisoners of war. Some of us have it pretty good, and some of us could have it better.
Melissa, sure. Thank you so much on what you're saying, and we do need to take a commercial break. We'll be right back for the last portion of Hollywood Hemptress Hour. Stay tuned.
Are you from a dysfunctional family? Do holidays leave you depressed? Here's a way to relieve your anxiety before and after holiday distress. sure knows. If you want to be happy in a million ways, to your dysfunctional home, do not go. They'll be serving turkey, pumpkin pie, and lots of guilt. Unwanted second helpings of advice. And with dessert comes all the old I told you so. And tension you can cut with a knife. So get away, don't go home for the holiday. Your therapist tells you things you know. If you want to be happy in a million ways, to your dysfunctional home, do not go. Where relatives say you work too hard or not enough. Being treated like a 4-year-old is just too much. If you want to have your every single button pushed, there's no place like a dysfunctional home. Pass up that turkey, pumpkin pie, and lots of guilt. And take no second helpings of advice. Skip the dessert and all the I told you so. Stay out of tension that cuts like a knife. Let's go away, don't go home for the holiday. Your therapist tells you, dear, you know, if you want to be happy in a million ways, to your dysfunctional home, do not go. Yes, if you want to be happy in a million ways, to your dysfunctional home, do not go.
And we're back with Hollywood Hemptress Hour, and thank you for staying tuned tonight. With me in our virtual studio, we have Casper Leach from Time for Hemp, who is the founder of Time for Hemp, North Blatt Forskren, Kevin Korn from Hardcore Entertainment and Trips, and also activist extraordinaire Melissa Ballin. And, not to harp on, first of all, I do understand, Melissa, about like having some trauma, about dealing with brutality that way, and also the knowledge that some of the people that were in the forefront and noticed, and also were doing media connected to specifically Occupy, and and also let's talk about the hemp, people who do activists for this as well, can become targeted. And I know that it sounds strange, like, well, what is it that you think that you're doing so important that would have it, why would you be targeted? But I've had, I'm gonna say that I've had my own feeling of some trauma that's happened. Being in a federal raid, having guns in your face. Like I literally, it took me a while to heal about that, and then come to a point where I could maybe even make like something funny about it, because it just pissed me off so bad. Or to have to be told, like, again, when I was in Occupy, to be told that you're on a list, that there's pictures of you, to have the government listen to one of my guests on Hollywood Hemptress Hour, and then who was a music producer, and be found because of that, and drug tested because he had a partial liver transplant, and they found out that he was using marijuana instead and could have been kicked out of the program. These are serious things. They say, well,
there are repercussions.
for
Right.
the targeting. There are serious repercussions.
Yeah, I mean there's been times where my phone's had weird noises and activity, and I've talked to other activists, and we felt that we were being listened to. I mean, like, we have 4 viewers on Ustream right now, and I get at least one all the time. I think Mr. NSA's there every night. You know what I mean? It could be.
Always, but we make jokes about this, Terry, and you know what? I think, I'm not particularly religious, but I thank God for your sense of humor. And I want to point out that when I first met you, I met you as a celebrity comic from the last comic standing who was using your voice, using your celebrity, and using your humor to get the truth out about cannabis, hemp, marijuana. And I like to think that I'm a filmmaker, but there are people that see me and say, oh, you're the pot lady. So there are repercussions that come from being not anonymous. And I applaud you for being so brave. I applaud Kevin for showing up and being brave to be not anonymous in these situations. And, I'm glad for the people that are anonymous. I want people to get activated with whatever they feel comfortable with. Jeffrey Peterson, who's one of our comedian friends, didn't come down to the Occupy at all because of that list situation, because of some other issues, because of his sponsors. And we have to all do what we feel comfortable with. He found his own way and his own expression where he wasn't comfortable going down to Occupy. He brought Occupy into the Comedy Store. So there's something everybody could do. We have unique positions of privilege, and we can only do what we feel comfortable with. Some of us, like you or I, have done things beyond our comfort zone because we feel the call. I don't know why more people don't feel the call or answer the call. I certainly know the stories all the way back to Moses and the unwilling heroes, so I try to be a brave, more willing hero. But I do want to point out what you brought up about PTSD. I do want to point out to our listener who might be coming from New Jersey to live a better life here on the West Coast, and shout out to our friends like MJ Weedman, that there are still places like the East Coast that don't acknowledge how important cannabis and medical marijuana is for the treatment of PTSD and depression and anxiety. And there isn't anybody listening that hasn't lost someone to suicide or anxiety, depression related angst, whether it be from drunk driving, which, we can't get into it in hindsight what these causes were. I heard somebody saying the other day, oh my gosh, they found a death due to marijuana because somebody did a dab hit and they fell and passed out dizzy, and the concussion led to a death. More people have died from water overdosing than, zero deaths.
That guy didn't die from pot. He was just an idiot. That's there's a difference.
We call that survival of the fittest, right? But again, nobody should be in jail for a plant, and nobody's death, should be laughed at. But there is common sense, and so we have to use our common sense and know that some of us just can't blaze to the blunt truth like Terry Joyce and Melissa Ballin. Some of us just can't. They just can't ingest as much. That's okay.
Yeah, well, those people, I hope they listen in small doses, but they keep it on. Maybe just go get some 80% chocolate.
It doesn't take me much to blaze to the blunt truth. I mean, again, like if you talk about sometimes, I've done a few dabs now, so I feel like I'm okay. But I've been smoking for a while, so there is a level of tolerance that I have at the moment. But sometimes, you get a strain, or you get something that you haven't had before, and sometimes just with your chemistry, it could really send you to the moon. And I still like that. I still like being able to have something catch me off guard. But yeah, you can go too far. I mean, I've never experienced passing out ever.
I passed out from hash before.
You did?
I remember the first time I took a hash hit. It was knife hits, and I fucking I felt I exhaled and I walked into the living room and looked in the mirror and it just went to a white little spot in the middle of the fucking mirror, and I woke up on the floor, or actually woke up on my friends' fucking legs because all their legs were up on the table, and fell backwards on their legs. But
and this is a public service announcement to you to please use marijuana responsibly. I would like to say, in honor of Dennis Perone, who is getting married. Casper's on the line, and Casper, did you hear about Dennis Perone's big fat gay wedding they're talking about?
I think same-gender marriage is stupid. Seriously, number one, if you're really that uptight about it, just get a lawyer, get a fucking contract. Don't worry about it. It's nuts. Secondly, that's one of the great things about being gay. You can't be roped into a union with somebody just because you had sex.
Now you can. Now you can be just as miserable as hetero people. And now you can use cannabis hemp to alleviate the stress of your marriage just like a hetero.
You know what I just realized?
You're married. I think it's stupid.
This panel is awesome. We've got a pot smoking Republican. We've got an anti-gay marriage gay guy. I mean, and
we've got a misogynist feminist. We've got a misogynist feminist in pasties. That's me. In case you thought it was you, Terry. Now you have to pick your own label. Everybody gets their own label tonight. Hashtag your label, Flat. Hashtag your label now that we've popped your Twitter cherry. So here's the thing. I do want to say to somebody that cannot send a tweet, but if he could, Reverend Eddie Lepp would tell you definitely to tweet Hemp Can Save the Planet and these getting cannabis.
Wow.
And
I just got a text. From, do you guys know who Charlie Hales is?
Charlie
He's the mayor of Portland. He has just put through $5.25 billion here, which is half the budget that they spent last year, to destroy Foster Road, turn it into a 2-lane road, and put up bike lanes, sidewalks, and bike racks.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that the mayor...
This is what we're closing down public schools for, so your kids can be stupid as long as they wear their bicycle helmet.
I thought you were going to tell us that the mayor tweeted Hemp Can Save the Planet. That's what I'm excited about.
No.
Well, obviously the mayor was fucking stoned, because I've had some good ideas when I was baked, and I've had some bad ideas.
That was half the city's whole budget last year. They put it all on Foster Road.
My God! All right, you guys. We are down to the last minute of the show. So let's just let's do a plug before we go. First of all, I want to thank Melissa for being here tonight and doing Friday Night Lingerie with me. And also, I want to thank Kevin Korn for being here, and Northblatt for being here, and Casper Leach for being here, and Tiny Tim. Happy Merry Christmas, one and all. But yeah, so where can our listeners find you, Melissa?
Well, every Monday you can tune in on Ustream at Hemp Can Save the Planet. You can find out who won for tweeting Hemp Can Save the Planet, even though we're all winners, because the truth must be told about cannabis hemp. And that's on Hemp Can Save the Planet on Facebook, on Ustream, Jack Harrer Hemp on Twitter, Stay Occupied on Instagram. I'm Melissa Ballin. And I did want to say, is there time for me to give Eddie Lepp's address so people can write to him?
Sure.
Okay, you can write Eddie Lepp at Charles Lepp 90157-011, P.O. Box 3000, FBI La Tuna. That's Anthony, New Mexico, Texas 88021. And that's also on our Facebook page, Hemp Can Save the Planet. Let Eddie Lepp know that we're always thinking of him, because all use is medical use and nobody should be in jail for a plant. And thank you so much for everything you do on the Hollywood Hemptress Hour. people say I love to wear lingerie, but I only do it for Terry Joyce and Friday.
Thank you. All right. Well, that's our show. We'll be back here Monday night, same time, 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. on the Pacific Coast. And whenever you happen to download it, when you see it on iTunes or Spreaker or the Time for Hemp or anywhere. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back. We'll see you next time. All right. Thank you.
It's a wrap.
That's a wrap. All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Casper. I miss you.
It's nice to know.
Nice to know. You don't have to say it back right away. Don't worry.
I know. I never feel obligated.
All right.
All right. So, Melissa, you expressed some interest that you wanted to do trips with us tonight. Do you still want to do that?
Yeah, if the guys want to have me, and if you think things are going good, I'm still up.
Sure. Sure. What do you say, guys? Maybe like in 10 minutes or so?
Yeah.
That'd be great, because I could do a bathroom break and do a bong rip so that I'm not coughing through your show.
Okay. Let's do that. I'm gonna take a little bit of break. I'm gonna put I'm not gonna leave this room because there is snow. There's no snow in your guys' places?
It's ice.
No snow.
Oh, I'm like living in winter wonderland right now, and I don't even want to walk back to my room right now. So I'm just gonna I brought some extra sweats and stuff. I'm not gonna do lingerie for the second part. It's cold in here.
Yeah.
So
I think the lingerie was a big hit, and I didn't mean to tell you to tone it down a notch, Kevin. I'm sorry, because I don't like when people tell me, but I was getting too fired up about the fad. I was getting upset.
that's
Well, we do. We get fired up.
We get fired up. That's okay. But like Kevin and I have like screamed at each other before. But
I'm really excited
we still love each
to do
other.
whatever you want with this next section, but it's like I haven't talked to Casper in a long time, and I didn't want him to think that I'm just always this, wackadoo going on and on. So I was trying to be more even-keeled so that he would be impressed with how far that I came. And then he wanted to talk about his dick, and I was like, wait, I thought I was too controversial. Then he's never been that controversial with me, so I thought, I'll never win,
Well, it's the midnight hour. We're all free to talk about our dicks and our pussies if we want to, and then smoke a
Well,
joint.
then I have some shit to say about my dick, let me tell you. If we're taking the lingerie off, then we'll get into it.
Right. Well, I'd love to talk about my virtual dick all the time because I've got balls. That's what I like to say.
Definitely have bigger balls than most men.
Are they blue
My
balls
balls
or
are
green
metaphorical. God damn it. All right. Well, I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna put up this YouTube I'm gonna post this YouTube, not YouTube. What am I saying? Ustream to my timeline. So to the Facebook timeline, and then I guess maybe we'll all connect. I'll call you guys in 10 minutes?
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good. I gotta get some coffee.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Try my Skype first, Terry.
Yeah, you call your Skype first. Okay. All right.
All right.
Yeah,
What was the most viewers you had?
I had about 6 at one time. I think was the height of the Ustream, which is not bad. I know that this sounds sad, but then after this I'll YouTube it and then hopefully get more views after that. But that's probably the highest Ustream that I've gotten at one time right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love breaking records.
Yeah.
You think it was Northwest Tweet? You think it was Northwest Tweet? I think it was a combined effort.
I think it's a combined effort. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah, it went really good tonight. Definitely.
Did you see the Instagram that I posted with that getup?
I did, and it was adorable, and I put a heart on it too.